Hello, my fellow extraordinary Americans. My name is Cosmos Dar, and this is Extraordinary America. What is Extraordinary America? Well, you see, America has always been about freedom, opportunity, and the pursuit of happiness. However, most Americans are not free when it comes to the financial front. Most Americans are suffering from financial slavery due to loss of jobs, stagnant wages, inflation, and debt. Wealth and income inequality is the norm now, and the middle class has all but disappeared. So Extraordinary America is about the abolition of financial slavery. It is about the financial freedom of the 99%. It is about the nation of immigrants and the descendant of immigrants restoring the extraordinary within themselves and setting themselves free. The path to financial freedom is through financial education. It is through becoming entrepreneurs and investors on the light side. In this podcast, I interview fellow Americans who fought against the odds. Many of them came from humble beginnings to see how they did it. It is my hope through these interviews that the extraordinary within you shall awaken and that you will abolish financial slavery from your life and realize the American dream. Once again, welcome to Extraordinary America. Welcome back to the show, my fellow extraordinary Americans. For today's guest, we have LoriaAnn Garner. LoriaAnn is an entrepreneur and life coach. Through her entrepreneurial endeavors, LoriaAnn not only found financial stability, but also discovered her passion for empowering others. She honed her skills as an ideal life vision coach, helping people transform their mindsets and biohack their subconscious to create the lives that they truly desired. Over the past 12 years, she has also dedicated herself to assisting individuals with their skin and health concerns. Her unique blend of expertise in skincare, health, and mindset has empowered countless individuals to break through barriers and unlock their full potential. LoriaAnn's story is about her journey from being a dedicated stay-at-home mom of 5 children to becoming a successful entrepreneur and coach, impacting many along the way, and that is why I have her on the show. LoriaAnn, are you there?
Hello, thank you for having me here today.
No, thank you for taking the time to be on this podcast, LoriaAnn. So, LoriaAnn, I know that you're an entrepreneur and you're into coaching other people. Can you tell me and the audience a little bit more about yourself, your background, and how you got started?
Yes, so I have 5 kids and 17 grandkids. I have these children. When I started having them, I was working in a career in radiology. And my husband and I decided after my 4th baby that it's time for me to stay home. We were juggling you work in the morning, I work in the night, and we just were never seeing each other. So it was time for me to, step back from my career and stay home and take care of my kids. And I stayed home for 17 years and I have the most incredible kids, and they're all so different and such amazing human beings. But we went through a financial crisis, when all of that economy went crazy in 2000, 10, around in there.
2008. Yeah.
Yeah, it hit us more 2010, 2011-ish, around in there. And at that time, we had some kids that were having some health issues. I was having some skin and health issues, and I was consuming the money that my husband was bringing in, but I wasn't helping. And I just thought there's got to be a way that I don't have to go back to school. I mean, by this time I was 50 years old, and I thought, how am I gonna help and get back into my career? And it would have just been so difficult. And I had a friend that I was watching, she had kind of been at a low level in her life while I was at a high level in my life. And then the economy did all this crazy stuff. And all of a sudden she started just going up. And I thought, I got to check that out and see what's going on. And that's when I had my first introduction into network marketing. So that's where I started thinking, I can be a stay-at-home mom and I can do a business. I still had one son left at home, and we were really struggling. I had to have I was so embarrassed, Cosmos. I, my, uh, my sister had to pay to register my son for high school. It was so terrible. I just thought, I never want to feel this feeling again, when I could not even buy him clothes to go to high school, and I couldn't even pay to register him. And I thought, I don't want to be in this situation ever again. And I needed to take control over something that I could do. And, that you hear people say, your pain can sometimes become your passion, right? Well,
Mhm.
I'd had sores all over my face, all over my skin for 30 years. Just they would bleed and itch and ooze. And I looked like a monster. That's what my kids even would say. Mom, you used to always say you looked like a monster. And I was shocked because I didn't know that they heard me say that. I just thought I was looking in the mirror and saying that.
Wow.
Um, and so I was asking my friend about what she was doing, because I'm like watching her just really, climb, and economically, like financially, physically. Like I just saw her just come to life. And so I thought, I want what you have. And that is how I got started with this. Is she gave me the technology that we have, and I just started spraying it on my face, and I started drinking it, and I just started using it. And eventually, after about 9 months, it's not like it was magic, it wasn't an overnight thing, but after about 9 months, the skin on my face started to just like really turn into real skin, instead of this alligatory leather kind of skin that I'd had. And I was off all of the medication that I was taking to try and keep my skin looking better. And people started noticing. And I always swore I would never do a network marketing company ever. I just thought, no way, that's not me. I like supporting people that do it, but it wasn't for me. But all of a sudden, people started seeing this difference in me, and they're like, LoriaAnn, your face, is looking so much better. What are you doing? And people started asking. My neighbors, even, they would see me go outside, and I would lay with ice packs on my face and just lay there. I had a bench in front of my house, and I'd just lay there with these ice packs on my face because it burned and itched so bad. And so, of course, my neighbors are all coming over, and they're like, what is going on with you? So I took this pain financially and physically that I was having, and I thought, I need to learn more. I was so ignorant about network marketing, and thinking it was, just the people on the top and get money, and just, I'm not those kind of people. I can't do it. Yeah, that's for them. It's not for me. And I really needed an attitude change. I needed to learn. Instead of being so ignorant about it, I thought, I've got to learn what this whole idea of network marketing is. And so I went and knocked on my friend's door, had my husband there with me, and we just said, look, can you tell us more about this? And she just said, if you're serious about this, sit down right here and let's see how serious you are about this. And we just got on the phone and started calling people and saying, hey, we found this technology, it's helped. And a lot of people had seen the transformation in me already. And we started sharing it. And I have never looked back. I just have grown to love the industry. I love the people. I love helping other people make money. And I knew when I got into it, I really needed that mind shift, because I still had that thinking of, I'm not good enough, or this isn't for me, or I don't really understand that. And when you're in a space of confusion, you don't really get to accomplish your goals and your dreams and your desires, because there's always that battle, of confusion, not knowing what to do or how to do it. And you're not good enough. And you get these voices going on in here. And so I reached out to a lady that had created an ideal life vision program. And I took this course with her, and she was helping network marketers. And what she did was she was helping them create the ideal life that they wanted in business, in their finances, in their health, in their spirituality, in their personal development. And it was like all these 5 areas that she just walked you through this process. You write everything down, then you speak it in your own voice, and you put it to music. And so I went through this whole training with her, and pretty soon I started, being able to do some online things. I started doing a YouTube channel. I started doing a morning call. All of these different things I started doing. And then the money just started coming more and more, because my mindset shifted so deeply, because I was talking to myself. And your mind believes yourself more than it believes anything. Your voice, your personal voice, is what your mind believes over anything else. So whatever you're saying in here, it's going to make happen, whether it's good or bad or right or wrong or whatever it is that's going on. Your subconscious is listening, and it's going to make it happen. So I was so intrigued by this that I started sharing it with people that were on my team. And I started saying, wouldn't this be so cool if you could hit this rank, or if you could earn this amount of money? Or what if you could physically, start doing whatever it is that you haven't been able to do, right? There's so many people that have just been able to sleep better and have more energy and I have one lady that she just said, I can be the mom that I want to be. So that's why I got into what I'm doing. And I know that's a long answer, but it really has been a progression, I should say, not a progress, a progression of just these little steps as we've gone through the process.
It's interesting that it's one of the things that's really interesting, right? Like when a lot of people have like a main job, they always ask how to get out of the job and do start a business. And like normally network marketing has been seen controversially on
Right.
like a lot of sites, right? There's a lot of controversy. Some people think it's like a scam, but others have made a lot of money through it. And it obviously seems that you have succeeded in it, you know? So, but it is a means to get rid of your income from the job so that you can be financially free. But what I find interesting is that you found something that you were passionate about and combine it with an income stream. And that's the main point that we're trying to make in this podcast, is that you have to ultimately, whether you're doing like a network marketing thing or finding your passion and then monetizing it, the goal is to always find the thing that you love and to monetize it and replace your existing income so you don't have to work for a boss anymore.
Yeah. Yes, that's the key. And to know you can do it, because you can see somebody else has already done it. But in my mindset, I was like, oh, that's for those people. They can do it. I can't. And that is such a small thinking. That is just so small thinking. Because anybody, I don't care what age you are, where you live, what your circumstances are. I mean, anybody can get yourself into a better situation if you have the right person to be there coaching you or inspiring you or motivating you. And at that time, I could not afford coaches. So I had my one ideal life vision coach, right? And I did all of that with her. But then as my mindset started getting better and a little bit better, I wanted to hire people, but I didn't have the money. So I started listening to podcasts. I started listening to, they were more talk show things, but listening to YouTubes, people that were just throwing out all their motivational things, their meditations, those kinds of things. So it's so important to, don't you think, Cosmos, to surround yourself with people that really can get you in the space that you want to be.
No,
You
to,
can't be the smartest the smartest person in the room. You
no,
need to be the one learning, right?
No, totally. One of the main things like that a lot of people like when they're trying to replace their existing income is like where like the reason they cannot do it successfully is because they lack proper mentorship. And it
Yes.
is really crucial to get a mentor. And one of the things that I realized in the network marketing business, like let's say you have the job mentality, you're just trying to get out, like it's a good place to start for sure. Like in the absence of actual like millionaire mentors that are out there, like the system was designed in such a way that you get the basic knowledge of business, because like most people out there, like they have the mindset of I got to go get a job, right? But we have to
Right.
think in terms of like how do we like replace our existing income no matter what it is, right? Whatever it takes.
Right.
But ideally, like you have to have mentorship. And the main question, Lori, is how do you get that mentorship? Like where do you find the right mentors? Because there's a lot of like people that are out there to scam you. Like they give you these few tricks or few nuggets, but they're not really gonna help you get to the next level. So I don't know what would be your thoughts on that?
Yeah, as I started making more money, I started hiring different people. So I was doing exactly what you're saying. I was looking for that next person to teach me and that next person to teach me. And I spent a lot of money on a lot of people when I really think you have to tune in right here. You need to tune in right here to yourself and say, what do I need? And I started joining networking groups so that I could just like see different people and different personalities. And then, you know what the very best way to find a coach is through word of mouth. You know,
Interesting.
find somebody that you want to be like. Find that person that you want to be like, and then start following them. It's so much easier now because there's so many people, right? But then it's like what you said, there's so many, it gets confusing. Who could I have mentor me or who could I have coach me? But you have to go with that feeling right inside. They have to align with your values of
No.
what your mindset is, right?
Yeah,
And
totally. A lot of the time, like we find people that are coaches, but like their core values are not the same as ours. And then we
right.
find that even though like they know what they're talking about, like it's just doesn't align on the right level. And so, yeah, like there's this thing where you have to find the right coach, but you also have to see whether their values align with your values or not?
Yes. I 100%. I think that's the key. And that's when I really started tuning into that. And that's when I thought, wow, now I'm having people reach out to me because they're like, I want what you're having. I want your physical health. I want your, like, I'm traveling, I'm doing things with my family, but I still have a business. So um and I'm not for everyone, right? But you start to attract your tribe of people that align with your core values. And once you start just really following somebody, really see what they're like really, not just their online presence, but what they're like really, like how are they showing up? So many people are open to like having a chat, a messenger conversation, a even, people have links you can click on to set up a 15-minute calendar appointment. I have that because I want people to be able to ask me questions, but I also want to see, is this a good fit? Are we going to be able to enjoy having fun working together? So there's always those options. Interview people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty true, right? You have to know whether you can work with that person or not. But Lori, I had a question to ask. So, when you went to, what was the greatest lesson you learned from your transition from like, because like there are a lot of people out there that are mothers and they basically stay at home and at the age of 50, it's really difficult to transition to entrepreneurship and to like mindset development and everything. Because like when you're by the time you're 30 or 40, like you're stuck in your ways and all of that. So what like how would you advise somebody that's at the age of 40 or and beyond, and they want to start over and like try to do something different? How would you advise them to go through that? And they're like a mother.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what I did. I had to. I think you have to be hungry enough to want it. I think, and people would say that to me, you're not hungry enough. And I would be like, you have no idea what my bank account looks like. You have no idea what it's like behind these closed doors at my house. But they would always say to me, you're not hungry enough. And I kept thinking, why would anybody see that? But the facade was, I'm a doctor's wife. I've got everything it looks like, I've got kids. I'm like Ariel on the, what is that? Disney cartoon
The
movie with
the Little
the
Mermaid.
Little Mermaid. Yeah. When she's singing that song, I'm the girl that's got everything.
Yeah.
And I just thought that's what it looks like on the outside. And I think sometimes we're pretending so much in our life that we have forgotten who we really are. We just keep pretending this, and it's not a happy life. And that literally is when it hit me, is I'm too old to be pretending anymore. I don't want to be pretending. I don't want to fake things. I just am who I am. And people, they can come be a part of my life, and I'll wrap my arms around you and I'll bring you in and I'll show you exactly what we need to do. But if I'm not your gig, then let's find somebody that is. So for me, I had to quit pretending. And I think once we, as we get older and we just start saying that doesn't matter anymore, and then you start finding what does matter, then you kind of have this open space and this open book, and it's scary because what's next? Like, okay, now what do I do? And so for me, that was really scary because I kept falling back into this comfort of, I'm not good enough. I don't know. I don't know what I want, and just let my husband take care of things. And when that got shattered and that didn't work anymore, and my husband couldn't take care of everything anymore, that's when I really had to wake up and say, okay, what can I do? And I was hungry. I knew that I wanted to do something that would give me purpose. And a lot of times people want to help other people, but other people don't want to be helped. You know, you don't want to be helped, but you want to be the person giving all the time. So I think that I was like vacillating between that back and forth, back and forth. Well, I just want to help people, but it's like, they don't want me to help them. So when I finally quit pretending about the whole thing, it was like, hey, do you want to do this together? Like, this could be so much fun. What are your strengths? What do you want to do? What are your vision and goals? And I'd ask people, what are your dreams? Like, what do you want?
Mhm.
And they couldn't come up with anything. It's like their dreams and their visions and their goals, like, they're just like, I don't even know what that is anymore. And it becomes in a space of despondent, like people just kind of get, you know, grounded into just, this is the way my life is going to be. But it doesn't have to be that way.
No, like
But
I agree.
you can get out of that.
I agree what you're saying, but a lot of people, like when they get older, they have this negative self-doubt on a subconscious level that they can't do it. So my next question to you is like, I know that you've researched the subconscious mind and how to change the mindset from them. Can you tell me and the audience a little bit more about your insights into how you go about that for somebody that has negative self-doubt regarding whether they can do something or not?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you about my friend Denise. And she came here to my house, and she is 60, in her 60s, her early 60s. She has got a condition where her body is hardening from the inside out. So
Oh,
she's just slowly dying. And she's had it for several years, and that's what her dad died from. And so I brought her to my house because I just could see her, just like you said, a lot of self-doubt. She's older. She thinks she's stuck in this place. She's so negative. And I just started just a few little things with her. And we'd get up in the morning and we'd have this morning routine a little bit with writing a few things and singing and doing a little exercise. You know, her body just wasn't working really great. And then we started having a conversation. Well, Denise, what do you want to do? Like, let's just pretend there's nothing wrong with your body. There's nothing wrong with anything. What would you want to do? And it took me so many conversations just to say, do you want to live, or are you living to die? She was shocked. She
wow.
says, I cannot believe, LoriaAnn, I'm living to die, because I just know that I'm going to die, because that's what the doctors have told me, and I'm hardening from the inside out.
Wow.
And we switched it for her. So we started saying, okay, well, if you're going to live, then what's something you want to do? And she said, man, I'd love to go to Germany and visit my kids in Germany. And I just said, well, what's stopping you? And she just said, I've barely even left, I've barely even left Utah. She barely even, and lately she had barely even left her neighborhood. Like, this was the farthest that she had come, and I live 5 hours away from her in a long time. And so I just says, well, what if that would happen? What would it look like? And we started writing it down, and we started writing these dreams and writing them, and seeing her in Germany and what she was doing with those kids in Germany and the food that she was eating in Germany. And we just started writing all this. And then we recorded her saying it in her own voice, and we added this specific music to it. And she would listen to this recording. In 3 weeks after we did that, her kids gave her a surprise gift, and it
Wow.
was in a suitcase, and it was tickets to Germany for her and her husband. And 3 months later, she was in Germany visiting those kids. So there's so much power in your subconscious brain of what you are telling it, and you can switch it. And things happen fast when you know how to do it and switch it up with your voice and the words you're speaking, because your subconscious doesn't know. When you're looking in the mirror, walking by and saying, oh, it's so fat, and so then your subconscious is like, okay, we're fat. And your subconscious doesn't know the difference. But if you're walking by that mirror and you're saying, ooh, look at that hot babe, your subconscious, you are really going to start looking like that. And it is proven scientifically. What you say, your words that are coming out of your mouth, it all is happening.
Wow. No, this is huge, LoriaAnn, because a lot of people like don't realize a lot of the things that they're saying. They just say whatever is coming to their mind. But if, according to what you're saying, if they're recording like their thoughts of positive affirmations in, let's say, their phone or something, and then they put like a gentle music, and then they listen to it every day,
It's
then
got to
this
be a specific music with a specific megahertz.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So there, I mean, when it's implemented correctly, it works. So that's why I tell people that I coach through this. I tell them it's so specific that you have to make sure what you're recording, don't record it until we make sure that you're saying things as if they've already happened, not any negatives. Like there cannot be anything negative or just kind of blase in there. You have to be so specific. And then we put a specific megahertz of music with it. And that's where the magic gets created.
So I understand the affirmation part, but can you elaborate more about how the specific music with a specific megahertz affects the subconscious mind in that regards?
Yeah, because it speeds up your learning process. So it speeds up, your brain can hear it. When you are in an emotional state, your brain will create whatever that is. So just think about it. When you're crying, you're sad, you're angry, like think of all the emotions. So we don't want to create anything in those states of mind because they are real and they're powerful. What we want to create is when you're at your highest levels of vibration and in clarity and joy and appreciation and love and connection. So when we're creating all of these life visions in these different areas of your life, we create them specifically at that higher vibration of love and emotion, and the music will just accelerate that because your brain will hear it easier. I can be listening to my ideal life vision and doing the dishes or out running. I can be driving my car. It's not a meditation. It's not a put you to sleep kind of thing, but there are some nights when I just like will turn it on if I wake up in the middle of the night and my brain is trying to do all of these things. And I'm like, and I can put my ideal life vision on and just listen, and I calm down and I can go to sleep. So the music is very specific, like Baroque musics. Those have a lot of the megahertz.
Say that again, bro.
Baroque. I know. It sounds like I'm saying, you want some Baroque music?
Could you spell? Could you
It's Baroque.
Baroque music?
Baroque music.
I've learned something new today, LoriaAnn. I've never heard of Baroque music before, but
Baroque music. Yeah, you can you can put it in, and but I don't want people playing with this in the wrong way, because you can your subconscious is so real that make sure if you're going to do this at home, without the right guidance, you really have to be in clarity and at a level of a higher vibration when you add the Baroque music. So I can just show you on, let me go into
And what
my,
is the range of the megahertz for this music, just out of curiosity?
I don't know what the bottom and the top is, but it's somewhere around 575. But there is there's a bottom range and a top range, and experts in that field will probably understand that way more than me. I just know that if you get and I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if we can. There you go.
Okay, Baroque music.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, okay, let me get this straight. So, in order to influence your subconscious mind and get the results you want, you have to have a state of clarity. You have to have peace, joy, and the right emotional state. And you have to have a vision of what you want. And you gotta like record yourself in a recorder and then have that play with you with this specific type of music. Did I
Yeah.
get that right?
You did. Yeah.
Interesting. So like the recording will be playing and the music will be playing, and the combination of these two does something to the subconscious mind where your mind starts creating. This
Right.
is
It can't not create it. You don't know how it's going to show up. Okay. So it might show up differently. Like Denise's was very specific. She said that she was in Germany. She didn't know how she was going to get there. She didn't know that her kids were going to buy the tickets for her. She didn't know how she was going to get the money. She didn't know any of the how. There's no how in this at all. It all is in just powerful creation.
wow.
Just creating it and then letting your divine source take it over, because your brain is going to work on it every day. It's like when you ask your brain a question before you go to bed and you're like, oh, I wonder what I'm going to eat for breakfast in the morning, and then all night your brain's going to be working on, hey, let's eat this for breakfast, let's eat that. And you wake up. I mean, those are like some simple things that you can try and test it out. Or when you're driving your car and you're like, what would it be like if I got a parking spot right in the very front of the store? And there's never parking spots there, and you pull up and all of a sudden there's this parking spot there, right? You're like creating these you're creating questions, and your mind starts working on things, and you start attracting all of these things.
So this is a really fascinating, and I love the concept of the mind and the power of subconscious. So I've like talked to some people, and they always wanted to manifest things and manifest their reality, but they only just believe that if you just think it out loud and say it again, that's what's going to create and attract. But over here, you're saying that you have to have music combined with words of affirmation recording onto you that will affect the subconscious mind. So it is a specific, it's almost like a formula in a way. That's what makes this different.
Yeah.
And I hope my audience is like listening to this, because this can actually, I mean, I'm going to like tonight itself, like I'm going to take a look into what Baroque music is, and then like do my research, because yeah, this can actually, it's a subtle thing, it's a small thing, but it starts to affect our lives in ways that we can never imagine, you know?
Exactly.
So I know there's like a lot of people, like there's been so many instances where like the doctors have told people that they're gonna die in these many amount of months. Like I know somebody that I personally know who had cancer, like who has cancer, right? And then the doctor said that you only have a few months to live, like you're gonna die by August or something. And then like she is still alive, and then she is still fighting it and surviving. And there's just so many instances of people that have used their power of their mind and their will to basically go past things that would be considered by doctors and like others as like there's no chance.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You just said that about your friend. There is a lady that, when we were going all through the shutdown, of the closure of all of the countries and stuff, and she's in Australia, and I started following her because she started singing this, and I did an interview with her on my YouTube channel. She started singing this little mantra, and she would sing, every little cell in my body is healthy, every little cell in my body is well. I'm so glad every little cell in my body is well. Okay, so she sings that to that little mantra. There were children all over the world singing that, adults all over the world singing that. People were getting better and better and better. And it was because we're singing this mantra and your body is believing it, right? We don't have the Baroque music that we're singing it to, but she is a brain specialist and she has autism. And she is now like teaching all over the world. And a lot of it is through music and through sounds and through creating that emotion and being able to speak to your subconscious, right? In a way through music and through those little mantras and those, little songs.
LoriaAnn, my next question to you is like more of like for America. So basically, like, the American thing is about the pursuit of happiness and of like Americans realizing the American dream. So could you tell the audience how from this thing that you know about the subconscious mind can be applied in a national context to create a better America and where people can manifest the American dream and lead their lives towards happiness?
Every single time one person becomes joyful and happy and sends out those vibrations of inner peace and calm and guidance, the ripple effect of that goes all through the world. It won't even stop at the borders of America. It will go through the oceans and surround the earth. That is the power that we have. Just becoming joyful ourselves and the vibration that we give off and creating a life that's worth living. Because I believe that is why we are on this earth, is to be joyful human beings.
LoriaAnn, I see a lot of hope in this because a lot of times people are reacting to negative news and all of that, and they have a negative state of mind. But this is one time where you're basically saying we basically counter this by producing internally through this strategy and then ripple outwards. And that is ultimately the strategy we need to make a better America altogether, because
Right.
you have to know that you're the one that can make the change, but you have to influence your subconscious mind. And that is the entire point. So this is really important. And like that is why I am really grateful that you're in this show, because for the first time, like many people can be like, you know what, why should I react to the negativity in the world? I'm going to create the positivity in my life, and I'm going to ripple it outwards, and I'm going to influence people by influencing my subconscious mind. So yeah.
Yes. And you have control of this. Nobody else has control of this. Even if people around you are doing things that they might be doing it to you, they're not doing it to you. It's a reaction for themselves. But once you start creating this, just this fun, exciting life, those people really start to go away. They just don't even, they can't even be in your space. It's not fun anymore to be in your space now that you're happy and creating amazing things and having fun and going and being with other people. It's almost like your people start becoming a different type of human being that comes into your life, because you're now, like my friend Sol Alcina says, you are a human being not a human doing. So we are just, it's who we're being that then ripples out into the world.
That is awesome, LoriaAnn. That is completely amazing. And like this is exactly what we need for America right now. Because like a lot of people have lost hope. But if they know that they have influence over their subconscious mind, that they can actually control the narrative inside their mind and then use it to ripple out and then affect other people, it does make a great change overall. So I hope my audience understands this.
Yes.
So, LoriaAnn, I know we're winding down on the clock. So, can you tell us a little bit more to the audience about your ideal life vision program?
Yeah, so I have a workbook in my, and it's I think I've got 12 short little videos that you follow through, and it takes you step by step through it. And I have a workbook that is a digital workbook in the program that you can print it off if you want, but in order to save paper, I have made it so it's a fillable PDF, so you can just type it and fill it. But, even if you just looked at this book and you wrote it down just on paper to the side and just wrote down and filled in everything, there's so much power between writing and your brain and something actually happening. It increases the odds of it happening so much faster when you take time to write. But the other part is, if you don't have the means to handwrite it, or you don't have the means to print it off, reading it and creating that in your mind, you'll be able to get the whole effect from that. There's like 3 levels, right? Just reading it, you'll learn something. Doing the PDF, fillable PDF, it's going to be amazing and you will see a difference. But when you actually take the pen to paper and write it, you're going to get speedy results. It's just what happens. So in this program, I have a link that I can share with you, and it goes in, and there's 3 different levels. You can do it yourself, or you can be in a group session that I hold, and then we can do one-on-one. So there's those 3 different levels in there that you can choose from. And we've had great success with all 3 levels. It's really up to you taking the action and saying, yes, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to see if this works for me.
Awesome. What is the link that they go to for this?
So right now it's a little bit longer of a link, so I'll give it to you and you
Okay.
can share it in your notes.
Okay.
I haven't gotten the shortened version of it, so I can share
LoriaAnn,
it.
there was another question I had to ask. So I know in the beginning of this conversation, you talked about your technology that made your skin better. Can you tell me and the audience a little bit more about what that technology is and what it does?
Yes, real simply, it is exactly what is inside every cell inside your body, and it's called redox signaling molecules. So redox is REDOX, redox signaling molecules, and we have them in every single one of our cells, but as we get older, we make less of them. And as we have environmental toxins, pollutions, the food we eat, the environment that we're in, we make less, and our body's just trying really hard to produce more and more. So we have this in a drink that we drink, just 2 shots a day, and a gel that you can apply to your skin anywhere, like if you've got, tight muscles, sore muscles, like anywhere on your body, you can apply the gel so that it gets into your system quickly. It works at the mitochondria level. So really at the very nanoparticles of every single one of your cells. And so for me, with my face, why it worked so good is because I'm spraying it on my face and I'm drinking it, and all of those cells are like detecting cells that need to be repaired or replaced, and then it's protecting the good cells. So this redox technology it's the up and coming new medical breakthrough that they are actually training doctors to be doctors of redox medicine now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's basically it like basically is anti-aging essentially for the cells.
It's like age reversing.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I turned 60 this year, and I really have never felt better in my life than I have in these last few years. Just, and it's my prevention. It's not that I have anything that I really need to take it for, except I keep having birthdays. So I want to keep doing the prevention. And I keep saying it's a shot of prevention. Every shot I take, it's a shot of
LoriaAnn, I was
prevention.
gonna say you don't look 60, so
And 17 grandkids. So I'm like, I got to keep up with them, right?
wow, that is awesome. So LoriaAnn, how can my audience connect with you to get to know more about you and your work and what you're doing?
So I just have a great I have a great website. It's called redoxpowers.com, redoxpowers.com. And there is a 15-minute consultation that you can have with me. It's free. You can see about this technology. And also, I'm on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. So, and it's my name, LoriaAnn Garner.
That is awesome, LoriaAnn. Well, LoriaAnn, I want to let you know that what you shared with me and my audience today is so valuable. I mean, I'm gonna go tonight and check it out. Like Baroque music, that is something that's new. I didn't know that music could have an effect on the subconscious mind because I definitely want to manifest an extraordinary America. So for me, this is actually pretty important. But yeah, I am really grateful that you took the time to come to this show, and I would definitely want to have you back at a later time.
Oh, I would be honored, Cosmos. Thanks.
I want to conclude this interview by telling my fellow extraordinary Americans that look, there's an extraordinary within each and every one of us. And it's our duty to awaken it and unleash it. Until next time, bye for now.
Hey there, everyone. Thank you for watching Extraordinary America. If you like what you see, please do subscribe to our podcast and share it with others. Remember that the best investment that you can make in your lifetime is in your own financial education, for it is knowledge that truly sets you free. Also remember that your purchasing power is being diluted through inflation, and then the practical thing to do is to protect the loss of your purchasing power by investing in precious metals or the right cryptocurrencies. Also, never forget that you are an extraordinary American. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.